Wow, stories.
Am I the idiot for ending things with my perfect girlfriend after she cheated on me? So I, 26-year-old male, have dated quite a bit in my life. Since the age of 18, I've had relationships both short and long with women, ranging from a couple months, weeks to over 2 years. I am now 26 and recently met the most beautiful, most perfect, sweetest, fun-loving girl I've literally ever met. She and I are perfect for one another. Our personalities, our senses of humor, our ideas of fun, our beliefs, and values. Everything is perfect. She is stunningly beautiful as well. We've been going on dates and hanging out pretty regularly for about a month now. After about a week of dating, we talked about intimacy. She's had 2 previous relationships, but she's very candid on not really talking about the details of them. She doesn't want to know anything about my past intimacy life and really doesn't want to open up about hers. I didn't really think anything of this at the time. Fast forward about 3 weeks later, we've known each other for a month now, and just a few days ago, we had intimacy for the first time. She wanted to wait about a month before we had intimacy. We finally did, and with such high hopes, I was severely let down. Basically, the intimacy was by far the worst intimacy I've ever had in my entire life. Basically, how it happened was, we made out for a while, got all handsy, started ripping each other's clothes off, went upstairs to the bed, normal stuff until this point. And this is when it all started to go downhill. Once our clothes came off, she didn't have any intention of having any sort of foreplay. I tried to finger her for about 5 seconds before she pushed me away and grabbed some lube, put some in herself, and then put a condom on me. I thought girls liked foreplay. Apparently not her. We started having regular intimacy, and after about 10 seconds of very, very slow thrusting, she told me to slow down. After starting slow and getting faster about 5 times, she kept telling me to slow down. Basically, she said she couldn't get off without me doing about 1 pump every 10 seconds. And she only wanted to do missionary. I was having literally the slowest, most uninteresting intimacy of my life, and it was still too fast for her. I tried to do doggy style, and she wasn't having it. Back to missionary we went, and after about 3 pumps, going slower than a 90-year-old couple would have intimacy, she once again told me to slow down. I'm talking literally like 1 pump every 10, 15 seconds. So slow that I literally felt no sensation whatsoever. I've never suffered from erectile dysfunction, but after about 5 minutes, I simply went soft. Neither of us came, and the intimacy was simply over. I didn't want to make her uncomfortable, but I could not experience any pleasure at all from this kind of intimacy. I'm not the kinkiest or craziest intimacy person, but most of the intimacy I've had throughout my life has been pretty rough and fast compared to this. I've found that generally women like to start out slow and then pick up the pace, but slow to them is like 1 pump every 5 seconds, not one every 15 seconds. Like, what the hell? I talked to her afterward about why she wants it so slowly, and she basically said she likes to be in control. Intimacy that's too fast gives her a sense of panic or something, and it's extremely unpleasurable for her. She didn't mention anything with regards to oral or fingering, so I have no clue what is going on with this girl sexually. She said she had a past relationship for 1.5 years. However, she refused to elaborate on any sort of past intimacy activity. Honestly, it felt like I was having intimacy with a virgin or something. Like she had no idea how normal intimacy was supposed to be. If things stay the same for us sexually, I don't think I can continue this relationship. Like, the intimacy is so bad, I literally can't have it. I cannot stay hard doing 1 pump every 15 seconds. It sucks because literally everything else about this girl is perfect. Help me, please. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. I agree with others. This might be simply some younger, inexperienced hang-ups, or even as difficult as some intimacy trauma. I'm 42-year-old female, married 18 years. When I was young, it was hard for me to give myself fully to the experience due to having been sexually attacked when I was a teenager. I avoided foreplay and wanted it to be over quickly. My only few experiences that were in relationships were with young men who just wanted to release, one of which resulted in my son being born when I was 16. I met my husband in my early 20s, and he was so patient and talked to me about it. He, over time, helped me become comfortable with myself and find what I liked. It takes a lot of work to stay married and happy, so if she's really great for you, as you say, then I would definitely talk to her. Be patient. See if she will open up over time and be willing to experiment with you. You can't really have a huge amount of trust in only 1 month. Also, I knew a lot of young women who were insecure about intimacy and how they looked during, and if they did certain positions, they felt it was less personal. On the other hand, I knew a woman who only liked really slow, sensual intimacy. That's nice sometimes, but always no thanks. Personally, I prefer a mix of things and mood changes. Though I'm way past my hang-ups and insecurities, my trauma will always be there. But it's more of an issue with me needing to feel safe with my partner, which is easy after so many years together. And I don't let myself be alone with strange men or walk alone at night or things like that. I'm very aware of how easy a man can overpower me. In the end, you won't be bad if you just don't think you're sexually compatible. But it's up to you if you want to try and work it out. It will either end wonderfully or you could just waste a bit of time. It's really what you are willing to deal with that matters. Comment 2. Sounds like this is particularly on you as well. If you're only thrusting, you're not adding any enjoyment to either of yourselves. My partner currently doesn't like to go fast right away either. She doesn't like foreplay either. The maximum level of foreplay is me rubbing my lubed up weenie along her lips. She wants me to slowly inch it in, and it takes like 10 minutes for me to get fully inside of her. Once we're there, I'd have to go slow for a few minutes. Then I can go faster and harder. Do you know what I do while this is happening? Kiss her neck, suck on her breasts, run my hands all over her. She kisses me back, grabs me all over, talks into my ear. All I heard from you is, I thrusted her. She said slow down, and I tried doggy. She didn't like doggy. If all you do is piston pumping her, that might be your problem. Try putting her on top if she wants control. Now for the update. Hey everyone, a lot has happened since my last post. After that disastrous first time, I decided to give it another shot. I mean, everything else about her was perfect, so I thought maybe we just needed to communicate better. We talked about it, and she seemed really open to trying to find a middle ground. We agreed to take things slow and explore what works for both of us. For a while, things seemed to be improving. We tried different things, and although it was still slow, I was starting to get used to it. I even started to enjoy the intimacy and connection we were building. But then, about a month ago, she dropped a shocker. She told me she had been seeing a therapist for some past trauma, and that was why she struggled with intimacy. She didn't go into details, but she said it was something she was working through. I was supportive and told her I was there for her. I thought this was a turning point and that things would get better now that she was opening up. However, things took a turn for the worse. She started to become more distant and withdrawn. She would cancel plans last minute, and when we did hang out, she seemed distracted and anxious. I tried to be understanding, but it was hard not to feel hurt and frustrated. I missed the fun-loving girl I had fallen for. Then, 2 weeks ago, she told me she needed some space. She said she was overwhelmed and needed time to focus on herself. I was devastated, but I agreed. I thought maybe some time apart would help her sort things out. But during this time, I couldn't shake the feeling that something else was going on. Last week, I found out what it was. A mutual friend told me she had seen my girlfriend with another guy. At first, I didn't want to believe it. But then I saw them together myself. They were at a coffee shop and they looked really cozy. I confronted her about it and she admitted she had been seeing him for a few weeks. She said she didn't mean for it to happen, but she felt a connection with him that she didn't feel with me. I was heartbroken. I couldn't believe she had been cheating on me. I felt betrayed and angry. I ended things right then and there, and it was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do, but I knew I couldn't stay with someone who didn't respect me. The fallout from this has been tough. I've been struggling with feelings of inadequacy and self-doubt. I keep wondering what I did wrong and why I wasn't enough for her. It's been hard to move on, especially since I still have feelings for her. But I'm trying to focus on myself and heal from this. Looking back, I realized there were red flags I ignored. Her reluctance to talk about her past, her need for control in the bedroom, and her sudden need for space were all signs that something was off. But I was so blinded by my feelings for her that I didn't see it. I've also been reflecting on my own patterns and behaviors. I've always been someone who jumps into relationships quickly, and I think that's something I need to work on. I need to take things slower and really get to know someone before getting too invested. I also need to be more assertive about my own needs and boundaries. One thing that has been helping me is talking to friends and family. They've been really supportive and have helped me see things more clearly. They've reminded me that this isn't my fault and that I deserve someone who truly values and respects me. I've also started seeing a therapist. It's been helpful to talk to someone who can provide an objective perspective and help me work through my feelings. I'm learning to be kinder to myself and to focus on my own growth and happiness. As for my ex, I don't know what the future holds for her. I hope she finds the healing and happiness she needs, but I know I can't be a part of that journey. I need to focus on my own path and what makes me happy.